So we're going to be taking a walk through a sample unit. And when you see at the very top of the page, inside the platform, it says instructional program dash sample. It doesn't matter that it's an instructional program. It doesn't matter what kind it is. This process is the same for absolutely everybody. And we're going to be walking through the program review process and what the screens look like in the Nuventive improvement platform, how to navigate around, and the different things that you can do in here, the things that you're going to see. So after you log into the Nuventive improvement platform, you're going to be taken automatically to, maybe it's the only workspace that you have, and you'll hear me say unit or workspace independently. This instructional program sample is a workspace. I might call it a unit. If you have access to more than one, this drop down up here at the top where it says instructional program sample, you'll notice to the far right, there's a little down arrow. You can just click inside the white space. What you're going to see in my view is that I have access to everything simply because I have backend access to absolutely everything. I helped build this. And you'll also see a blinking cursor in the white space right before instructional programs. So if you are in charge of STEM programs, or if you are in charge of another instructional program, geology, you can just start typing the name of it and it'll pop up for you. So you might only have access to one area, you might have access to multiple areas. This drop down is going to show you everything that you have access to. So we're using sample data, and I just clicked on it again, so it's refreshing the page. We're just using the sample program, instructional program, but again, this is going to be the same for everybody. When we come into whatever unit or workspace that we want, we're going to see this landing page, this splash page. Now, when you first log in, it will be blank. Nothing is going to appear except for the black headings in these tables. Everything is starting with year 2022, 2023, and this is an interactive report. So the more years that we have data, the more years will populate in this filterable drop down for year. And you'll be able to take a look year over year at what you have been able to accomplish and the data that is available inside the Nuventive improvement platform. So this overall splash page is something that everyone is going to see. And this represents the program review process. In the future, we're also going to see outcomes assessment, because that will be another process that will be housed in the Nuventive improvement platform. But for now, we're just simply focusing on program review. To the right, you're going to see a San Diego Mesa College 22-23 program review timeline. Very soon, there will be at least 2 more images on the right-hand side, and these images are clickable. When you click on, there's a document that's behind this image. So when I click on it, it's going to take me into a 50-50 split screen view. And right now, the document behind that image is the 2022-23 draft program review timeline. So this takes you through the timeline of the current program review process. And notice at the top right, there are 4 green icons. Right now, underlined in yellow will be a green and a white. And if you just hover over it, it says layout half. If you wanted this document on the right-hand side to be larger, you could make layout quarter, meaning this is going to become larger and the main screen is going to become smaller. If you wanted to put it back to just the thumbnail image, you could come to this second icon, which says layout 3/4. It's back to the thumbnail image. Or if you wanted to hide it all together, you could make the main screen the entire thing. You're going to see this on many pages within the platform. So what is it that you're going to actually do inside the platform? The menu on the top left is a square box with 3 white lines. When you click on this icon, it will bump out a menu for you. And the first thing you're going to see is Home, highlighted in light yellow. You'll see Program Review, Full View of Alignments, Outcomes Assessment, which is coming soon, Reports, and a Document Library. There will be more things that might come up in the menu. Of course, if you click on Outcomes Assessment Coming Soon, you're just going to see a Coming Soon page. So that's the second process we'll work on. But under Program Review, anytime you see a little caret, that's what we call these little carrots, click on it and it will expand what you can do within that Program Review section. You can also minimize it, full view of alignments. You can expand it and you'll see a few maps in this full view of alignment. And then the same with reports. So let's take a look at this first section, Program Review, Summary and Reflection. I have something in my sample unit. I have a summary reflection for the year 22-23. This is a read-only view of the form. And because I already have something in this form, I see a progress bar that shows 11 of 12 fields complete. I see a vertical ellipsis. When I click on that vertical ellipsis, I can come in and edit the form, or I can view print. I could even take a look at who's actually been making changes, which you'll see is all Nuventive support in this sample. So I'm going to close this at the bottom right. I could delete, don't delete what you have. So if I come in and I edit, you'll be able to see the form. For those of you who are coming in brand new, you will not have a form to see. You will click a green plus sign, click the 22-23 year, and begin filling in the form. The first section of the form is for an executive summary, and there are 5 questions on this page. All of them are required. Don't worry with thinking that there's not enough room for you to write what it is you need to write, because you can write quite a lot in these fields. Don't think that line blocks you from writing a whole lot, but you can read these. These are all part of the process. These are all long text fields, these first 3. The last 2 are drop down list value fields. And you can only select one value at a time. You must mark if this executive summary is complete. If it is not complete, leave it blank. Once you have completed it, click yes. You can open up the data reflection by clicking this down arrow. And there are 4 questions in this section. The first 3 are long text fields, so you can write as much as you want to write. And the last one is the same as in the executive summary. If it is not complete and you need to go somewhere, answer the phone, go to class, if you're interrupted or you need to go to lunch, you can save. But when you come back and you finish these forms and they are 100% complete and official, you have to select yes. And then you can do the very same thing with practice reflection. You can also minimize these sections to bring this very last section a little bit more forward on the screen. And you can see that the first 2 sections are complete. The progress bar is green. This last section is only yellow, only 2 of 3 fields complete. But as soon as I start putting data in this field, and I won't write anything official, this is just sample data, it will begin turning it green. You can save. And you will get a message that says it has saved successfully. Oop, I closed it out too soon. Then you'll be good to go. So I'll come back in here. Oh, no, we're good. Okay, so it did save. Perfect. you'll see over here on the right-hand side, there are resources to be able to help you. There is a program review handbook, the Roadmap MESA 2030 document, a link to data dashboards, glossary of terms, and the program review template. So the program review template was the PDF or the Word document of what we actually translated into the platform. So you'll see that this template and what the questions that you'll see throughout the platform are going to be aligned and the same. You're just doing it in software in this application and not on a Word document. And again, anytime you want to open one of these, you can. Let's open up this data dashboards. These are all either Word or PDF documents. The glossary of terms is actually an Excel document. If I click on the glossary of terms, it's going to open up. Ooh, is it an Excel document anymore? Let's see. Yes, it is. This is it's not live in terms of if you wanted to type something in here, you could, and you could save it. This is read only. But if I came over to the very top right and I made this bigger, I can absolutely use the filter options. I can sort, I can find what I need. I can do the, search and select, find and select. So this is an interactive Excel document. But the one that I want to show is data dashboards. And these resources are going to be on all of the pages for the program review section. Let's open up data dashboards. Data dashboards is a Word document. You can see it's a Word document. You can't edit this. But what it will do is these are hyperlinks to take you to specific data dashboards. So this one will take you to the data dashboard webpage, the overall webpage. And then these three broken out will take you to the very specific dashboard. So if I click on student characteristics, it's going to open up in a new tab. The platform is still in this tab here. But in the new tab, we have been taken straight to student characteristics and academic plan data dashboard. And now you are on this web page. You can look at anything you want to look at. All of the tabs are here for you and it's filterable. So you can take a look at what you need to look at as you're completing this program review process. And all I have to do is come back to the Nuventive platform tab and I'm back in the platform. I'm going to make this a thumbnail. When you are done with your summary and reflection, you can open up the menu again, and you can go straight into unit goals, action plans, and updates. So you'll notice under unit goals, action plans, and updates, there's something called resource needs. Underneath resource needs, there's something called program review resources. Before I go into unit goals, action plans, and updates, let's take a broader look at all of the program review specific resources that have been embedded into the platform for you to utilize. When I click on program review resources, it will open up a landing page, tells you to click on any of these to open up into a 50-50 split screen. But you'll see that there are more resources over here on the right, the DEIA discussion guide. And then the familiar glossary of terms, the program review handbook, the MESA 2030, data dashboards. But here are program review archives. And again, if you open this, this is a split screen. It is a Word document, and it will take you straight to the web page and it'll open up in a new screen and a new tab. And you can search in the archives for all of the previous program reviews. You can also look at an acronym dictionary and then a resource link library. And if I open this up, this is going to give you lots of different links. It will tell you what it's for. It will give you the actual URL, but it will also give you all of the hyperlinks. So this is robust. Utilize this program review resource page to the fullest as you are filling in all of the information into the Nuventive improvement platform. So we've talked about summary and reflection. We've talked about all of the resources that are available for you. So let's go to unit goals, action plans, and updates. And you'll see as this page loads, the immediate resources that we've put on every page. Again, the handbook, the strategic plan, the data dashboards. There are just 5 simple ones on every single page that we think will be beneficial for you no matter where you are. On the page where you will start seeing your unit goals, again, you will come into a blank page and there will be a plus sign in the middle of the page. And that is where you will go to add your unit goals. Once you have unit goals inside the platform, the green plus sign will move to the top right. So it'll get out of your way and you'll start seeing all of these filters. You'll notice in the top right, we're showing 2 of 3 outcomes. So that means there's a filter applied because I actually have 3 unit goals. If I clear the filter for beginning year, I'm going to see 3 of 3 unit goals. And in order to access these unit goals, you will double click into any one of the cards. So this is sample goal number 1, sample goal number 2, sample goal number 3. Let's double click in this sample goal 1 card. And you'll notice this vertical ellipsis. You can also use this to open it, but I'm simply gonna double click. This is the form that will open up if you're adding a unit goal. We want you to give the unit goal a short name. We want you to provide the description of the unit goal. And then we want to give it a status. Is this unit goal active, archived, or completed? So if it's active, it is ongoing. It is going to be assessed across many years, many cycles. If you have completed in a given year, come back and mark it completed. Or if it's going away, it wasn't completed, but it's no longer active, you can archive it. This is a single select field. Anytime you're creating a unit goal, we're assuming that it's going to come in active, but don't forget that there are these other 2 options beyond active. The beginning year is also a single select. So when are you initiating this? What is the projected completion year? And again, this is single select, and I've selected 25, 26. And the time horizon, is this a short-term goal, a medium-term goal, or a long-term goal? When you are finished entering in a unit goal, so I'm going to make just one small change. You can come to the top right and you can either simply save it and stay here and put in an action plan, or you can click this little down arrow and say save and add new, save and close, or you could save it and you could force a close. I'm going to save it. And when I do that, now I'm going to come to action plans, because that's the next step, is to build an action plan for your unit goal. So I'm going to click on this second tab, and you'll see that we've already entered in, pardon me, 2 action plans. Again, I can double click into this card, or I can add a new action plan by clicking the plus sign. And this is a very simple form. The action plan status is active, it's archived, or it's completed. This is the full description of the action plan. And as you go through these forms, if you do have a misspelling, I'm just going to right click that. And so that's a nice feature. And then action plan cycle. So what year do you intend to implement this action plan? Now I'm going to save and close. And instead of having 2 action plans on this page now, I have 3 action plans. The next tab is for alignments. When you click on this tab, you will be able to map or align your unit goals to the Mesa College Strategic Plan Roadmap to Mesa 2030. And it is as simple as the little key up here tells you to highlight the X to align. So I only have one sample goal well, I'm working within my sample goal, number 1. So I can come in and I've aligned it to 3 different Mesa 2030 goals and objectives. If I wanted to map it to another one, I could click, I could save, mapping saved successfully, or I can deselect it, save it again, mapping saved successfully. So very easy to align your unit goals to the Mesa 2030 roadmap. And then when you're ready to make updates, you can come to the Updates tab and you can update where you are on your action plan. Again, you're going to have a plus sign in the center of your screen if you have not entered in any updates. And once you have, for each action plan, you're going to see the title of the action plan, and to the far right, a plus sign for each action plan. I've got 2 updates for the first action plan, 1 update on the second action plan, and no updates on the third action plan. So let's add one to the third action plan. I'm going to click the green plus sign. It's a very simple form. This submission date auto defaults to the current day's date. This is not the date you gathered information. This is not the date that anyone reported information to you. This is simply the date that you are entering it into the Nuventive improvement platform. So this defaults to today's date. And again, you can write a lot of information in here. And then action plan progress. Am I on track? Did I encounter some barriers and I'm going to do this again? Or is it completed? I'm going to say this was completed. And then before I leave this page, though, you'll see show details. Show details will show you the unit goal and the action plan breadcrumbs. We provide as much room on the page for you as possible, so those details are automatically hidden, but you can show those details if you want to see them on the page. And then I'm going to save and close. So now I see 2 updates on my first action plan, 1 on my second, and 1 on my third. If I close this completely out, I'll come back to my unit goals, and process is complete in terms of all of the forms within unit goals, action plans, and updates. So now let's go to resource needs. This subsection is specifically for any resource need that you are reporting. Again, you will have a plus sign in the center of your screen to begin entering your very first resource need. My plus sign is now moved out of the way at the top right, and we have our resources over here on the right for you to view in a split screen if you want them. I'm going to double click into the card for this first resource need. So all of these are individual resource needs. I'm going to double click into this card to show you the form for the resource need description. The first thing that you're going to do is to select type of request. This is a single select field. You're going to give the title of the request a short name. We need the description of the resource, the year in which you're making the request. I'm making this request in academic year 22-23. This is a single select field, and you will only see one year at a time. In the next academic year, we will move this list forward. So you will only see 1 year at a time. And then all of the rest of these, except for the very last one, are long-term fields, long text fields. When you get to the very end, Is this required for programs accreditation status? You'll select yes or no. And then there's a secondary section at the bottom of this page for equipment, supplies, and facilities requests only. Is it one time or ongoing? What is the estimated total cost of ownership? And notice how when I clicked into this field, this yellow text pops up. This is help text for you to help you understand how to fill out this field. And then, is maintenance required? Yes or no. When you are finished, you can click save. Then you can click on alignments, and you will now align your resource needs to 2 different areas. And the first defaulted place where you will make an alignment is to your unit goals and action plans. So for this resource need, which is data collection and reporting tools, highlight the X to align. We have aligned it to sample goal, unit goal number 3. I could align it to sample goal, unit goal 1, or I can leave it just, whatever it aligns to. When you make your alignment, you click save, and then you're going to come back where it says unit goals and action plans. There's something else you're going to align to, and that is the roadmap to Mesa 2030. When I toggle to this Mesa Roadmap 2030, it changes my map. And now I'm aligning my resource needs to the strategic goals and objectives. And when I'm done with that, I will click save and close, or just save. And you're going to see a 3rd tab over here called Prioritization and Scores. For you, this will be read only. Once you click on this tab, you will be able to see for each of your resource needs, the data coming back, the information and the scoring coming back from the committees. You will not see a green plus sign. I only see that because I've got permission to do everything. But the only thing that you will be able to do is to double click, open up the form. It will not be editable for you, but you will be able to see your overall scores for the resource needs. When I click on this little icon to open up the menu again, we can go to full view of alignments, and you can take a look at all of your unit goals at one time, or all of your resource needs aligning to the unit goals and the strategic plan at one time. This is why we call it the full view, because it's not just one alignment at a time. It's all 3 sample unit goals and how they align to first, or to the roadmap Mesa 2030, and then your resource needs, all of them, how they align to your unit goals and action plans, and then to the Mesa 2030 plan. So this is just a way for you to see a large view of all of those alignments. Again, outcomes assessment is coming soon, so we can skip over that. And then for reports, there are 2 defaulted reports right now. There will be more, but right now, since you're building your data, we have 2 that we have released. And that is a narrative report. So when you click on that very first one, it's going to open up in a Word document. Inside the platform, this Word document is only going to be viewable, but you can, and it's going to take just a second to load. It's running it. Oh, my internet. I'm sorry about that. Although we don't recommend clicking the refresh button over and over and over again, I am going to just click it one time to see if I can push it forward. There's something going on with my Wi-Fi. There we go. So when it pops up, You're going to see the San Diego Mesa College logo. You're going to see the name of the report, and then any subsequent years. It's just all years because this is the very first time you're doing it. And then the name of the unit or the name of the workspace. And as we scroll through, we'll see more of a narrative piece with all of our mapping, our goal updates, our update status, when you have those. And this could be a very, very large report for you, just depending on how many unit goals and updates that you have. If I open up the, and you can print this, you can save a copy to OneDrive, you can download it. When you download it, this Word document is fully editable for you. Just know that after you download it, it becomes separated from the platform. So if you make any changes to this Word document that are significant, if you find a misspelling or whatever the case might be, you would want to come in and make that update inside the platform if it was a significant change for you. If we open up the menu again and we go to the 2-column report, then again, we'll see the logo, we'll see the name of the report, we'll see the name of the unit, and it provides it for you in just a slightly different format to where your unit goals are going to be here. And then your action plans and action plan updates are going to live here in these 2 columns. So we will also open up some reports for resource requests, in a narrative format and in a 2-column format. And then you've got your document library. Everyone is going to have a general folder. That general folder is just placed there for you to utilize, but you can create a folder structure. So to create a folder structure, notice these breadcrumbs up here for instructional program sample. We have a general folder. I could click on that general folder, but there's nothing in here, no documents. I can add a subfolder, or I could add a file to the general folder. If I wanted to get back to the highest level, I'm going to click on instructional program sample here at the top. And then I can start building out my folder structure by adding a folder that would be at the same level as this general folder. So if I click on add folder, I'm going to call it folder for training. I'm going to click save. I can continue adding folders, but in this folder for training, if I click on it, notice my breadcrumb follows me. Then I can add a file. When you select choose files, it's going to browse out to your hard drive, to your shared networks, to your external drives, and you can choose whatever file that you might want. And then whenever you choose it, the save button will come into play and you can save it and it'll go into the folder. I'm not going to do that in this video. It'll browse out to my hard drive. So I'm going to click cancel. And then if I wanted to get back to all of the folders, I'll click the name of my unit and all of my folders will appear. There is an ellipsis over on the side. If there was anything in a folder you wanted to move to a different folder, you can use this option here. There's nothing in this document repository or this document library right now, but utilize this document library. And then, there we go. If we go back to home, you will see that in this table, the data is refreshed overnight. So it's very important for you to remember, if you go through this process and you come back and you want to see the data, you want to start seeing your sample goals, the number of action plans, some check marks. This is not a live report. It will be refreshed overnight. And it looks like the last time it was refreshed was last night. This is showing Central Time for me. It'll show Pacific Time for you, but it was just before midnight. And then what you'll also notice at the very bottom, this has 2 tabs. So this is your program review summary, but if you change your tab down here, this is your resource needs summary. So you won't have to go into every single resource need and look at any of the scores. We have provided those scores for you. Oops, sorry, I hit the back button on this tab on the home page. So the 2 kinds of reports that you have are analytics reports, which are visual, as well as those narrative reports. And that is top to bottom, left to right, what you're going to see inside the Nuventive Improvement Platform. That's it.